I
The
feel sorry
funniest
for
thing
that
that I
mother.
saw about it's about parenting. There was this tweet by this dad, and he said, "My 4-year-old is currently screaming her head off in fear because she had the hiccups, and he told her that it was an alien trying to burst out of her chest." And he was
See,
like,
you can have fun
I
as a
don't know if
parent.
I'm cut out to be a parent, but I was like, that's exactly the kind of parent that I would be. Can you imagine? He's
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivelly chair, swivel chair, swivel chair.
Nasty girl. Scandalous. Insatiable. A real freak. Freaky girls really turn me on.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to Feral Friends. We're back, episode 4. Hi.
Welcome back.
How are you, madame?
Good. Can't complain. Still alive. You know how
Mustn't
it
grumble.
is.
Must not grumble. It's very, very grey and dark and cold here. I'm suffering.
Can I just say I love that Milo's in the shot.
Oh, look, yay, he's on the sofa. Hello, look at
Just
him.
chilling. That's cute.
I know, right? He's actually lying on his blanket now, which is really good. Normally, well, he might, I'm said that he'll start balling it up into a little nest in a minute. Yeah, no, it's very grey and cold and dark here. Lucky I'm going to Australia on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, it's on Saturday.
Yay, get me out
Exciting
of this
stuff.
freezing cold, bleak winter hellscape.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait.
I am a little bit jealous. I have to say, I am definitely jealous,
I did.
but I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I did actually check the weather in Madrid the other day, and it did look like you were having sun.
You know, it's always sunny, but it's bloody cold. Thank God I've got my duvet coat, so I'm all good to go. But you
I
know what? I'm sick of complaining about it. It's just a couple of months and then it
Yeah,
will be done. And then we'll be back to civilized behavior. So it's fine.
civilized
It's all under
temperatures.
control. I'm just
Well,
going to have to wear a booze coat in the meantime.
I wish I could share your your booze coat, carver coat. I wish I
Mm.
could share your like zenness about it, but I fucking hate winter. I think by now that we should have come up with a way to buy. Why can't we just hibernate like bears? Like, why can't we just all go to sleep after Christmas and
Oh,
wake up in like, the end when there's light, the daylight comes back.
well, you know what you're doing. You're a snowbird, so you just bugger off until the weather gets better.
Well, yeah, but I
That's
also do.
another smart thing to do.
Well, yeah. I'm a snowbird. I don't have a
Hey,
visor or a mobility scooter though. That's the only thing.
yet.
But yet, yeah.
You should get one.
Watch
I
this
mean,
space. You might
it's
see
a
me in
look.
Australia in a visor and a mobility scooter. Do you know? I learned something the other day that people who are night owls, like it's a real thing. Basically, everybody. Basically, there are these things called chronotypes, and everybody falls into one of two chronotypes. You're like I don't know the names, but you're like an early chronotype or a late chronotype. So people who struggle in the mornings, moi, are
Mm.
legitimate, right? We're not like lazy or feckless or it's just that we are,
No,
we're recording this
just
podcast,
nocturnal.
right? We're nocturnal. We're recording this podcast now. It's 8:20. We're evening people. I
Exactly.
think all the best people
Exactly.
are, don't you? Yeah.
Everything good happens after 8 o'clock.
Everything good happens after 8 o'clock. Nothing good ever happens under a bridge. Those are the two rules of life to adhere to.
I don't agree with that one.
No, I'm sticking to my guns. Nothing, well, at least in Berlin, nothing good ever happens under a bridge, and nothing good ever comes out of a chest freezer. That's another one.
Really?
Yeah, it's normally dead bodies that come out of chest freezers. There was
Yeah,
in Man
ones that have been dumped in a river, sure.
No, I remember at uni in Manchester one time there was this chicken shop called like Texas Fried Chicken, I think, and it was closed down one day because they had found a chopped up dead body in the chest freezer in the back of the shop.
Had you been eating in that place?
No. Well,
You didn't sound too sure
I
about it.
don't. I can't.
That's
I
a
can't
little bit
remember. I'm
disturbing.
doing a politician thing. I don't recall basically.
I don't recall. It
I
wasn't
don't
me.
recall.
Like, what's his name? Santos or Santi?
Oh,
The guy, the
please.
drag queen guy.
Whatever. He's a joke. He's a joke.
I don't remember.
We have to kind of start the episode, I guess, we're talking about Tyree Nichols. I'm so fucking sick of, I don't want to sound like, but I'm so sick of talking about stuff like this.
It's horrible. It's every month or something happens. There's always something. I just feel like it's never going to go away because people are becoming so immune to it and just so used to it that
Well,
it's
I
just
don't
like, well, there's always at least one.
I don't know if they're immune to it because I think obviously there have been like huge protests and everything.
Mm,
Still, but there have been other black people murdered by the police since George Floyd. It's just that this is so horrific
right.
and it was caught on film. I haven't
Absolutely
watched the video
hideous.
and I'm not
I
going
haven't
to
watched it
because I don't
either.
want
I
to. I
don't
don't want
want
to see that.
to.
And
I
I
don't want to
wish,
see it. It's
uh,
really harrowing to see
right.
those kind of things, and I don't think it's good for people to keep on seeing these images.
I understand that in this,
Mm,
it's what's going to send them to prison, this video. However, I think people are too quick to like, it's almost like murder porn, like it's just
right.
seeing all black bodies
Like
constantly
snuff
like,
movies.
right, like violated and abused, and I don't want to see that anymore. So that's a personal
Yeah.
decision for me.
But that whole situation was interesting because people were like, it's not to do with racism because, like,
Of
majority
course
of
it
the cops
is.
are black. But there was also a weird other thing that because there was one white officer who hasn't
Yeah.
been charged, who was involved. Why is that? I don't
Well,
understand
he
what's going on.
now I think it's that he's been suspended, and I think now he's been charged, but he wasn't initially. That's the point. And it's
Which is
taken them
just
what, like a week to charge him, or however long this thing is. Um, Hold on a minute. I've got WhatsApp open on my computer and it's making noises at me. Let me close it down. It's taken them a week to do this, you know. Or, I don't know. Like I think the thing is, and watching people like Amanda Seales talk about this and like other people,
mm,
other like
love her.
commentators and stuff. I love her so much. The thing that I've taken away from this is that we have to remember, like, even though these are black men, they are in the
Mm,
service of something which is wholly tied up and serving white
based on.
supremacy, right? And it doesn't it and white supremacy does, we know that you can be like a double agent for white supremacy. Candace Owens, I'm looking at you.
Hello,
Kanye, I'm
prime
looking at you,
suspect number
right?
one.
So we know this, and it's obviously it's worse because they're black. Like but they, once you put on that uniform of a police officer, you kind of give up your blackness, basically.
But I understand that there must be individuals who join with the aim to sort of be like, well, look, it's there. We're not getting rid of it anytime soon. So maybe I can be in there and make sure that these bad things don't happen. I wouldn't say that all black police officers are. That's
No,
terrible.
but no, I don't think all black police officers are doing that and are violently killing people. However, I feel like there's a code, that police stick to, and I think that
Right.
supersedes like racial solidarity in the police of most of the time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And
It's
this
just,
just
yeah,
when you hear about the language that was used whilst they were doing the act, and it's
it's
not the
horrific.
first time that some of them have been in trouble
No,
for abuse, like, going over the top. So it's just a really, really sad, sad story because I saw a video about his mum speaking about him, which was heartbreaking,
of
absolutely
course, like
heartbreaking.
it's uh I've seen a lot of nice stuff though, that he was a really keen photographer or videographer or
Yeah,
something, and
skateboarder.
skateboarder, and people have been posting, that to be try and remember him, like, as
Yeah,
he
in a
was
positive light.
living and bringing joy to people. He's apparently just a lovely, lovely guy who
Very
was, yeah.
sweet man. But it's
So
very
that's really
sad.
sad. It's really sad. Obviously, I hope they get sent down for life. I doubt they will, but I hope
Yeah.
they get a long, long
And it will
sentence.
be interesting to see what happens to them when they go inside. Good luck with that.
Sure. Well, that's a them
Seriously.
problem. Um,
For sure.
so Beyonce in Dubai.
Oh my
What
gosh,
are we
the
saying?
hottest tickets in town.
I
So
mean,
everybody,
was it?
well, people were like, how much did they pay her? They paid her $29 million for that
I
one
thought it
show
was 21. It was in the 20 something
or
million,
something.
a
It
huge amount
was
of
it
money.
was a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money for a couple of hours of a
It was
show.
an hour. It was
So
1 hour. It was 1 hour,
it
the
was one
performance.
hour.
Yeah.
Is that the highest ever paid concert?
Quite possibly. They worked it out. She was getting paid something like $800,000 a minute or something ridiculous. Like
If only. Can you
it was
imagine?
insane.
Oh, oh.
However,
Mm.
I do think,
She
and
didn't dance.
well, whatever. I love Beyonce.
Mm.
But this is a really dick move by her. Um, I think off the back of Renaissance, which is an album that, you know, she openly, it's like, you know, she says is celebrating like Black, queer, trans people, you know, that whole
Mm.
family. And the ballroom culture, which is inextricably gay and trans, like, and then for
Mm.
her, the first performance after, you know, after the album's come out to go to Dubai, which as we all know is not, you know, they don't really like the
Maybe she thought
gays.
Dubai doesn't really count because it's like the odd one out amongst the UAE. So it's not like going to
I
Qatar.
I don't know what her thought process was and her team. Like it's listen, and I think it's not like I'm not like canceling Beyonce because you know T.S. Madison made a really good point actually. She was like, well, what are you gonna do if Beyonce goes to Florida or Texas? Are you gonna not watch her there?
Right.
Because basically they're just as bad. Do you know
She
what I
shouldn't
mean?
perform in
She
America.
shouldn't perform in the States.
No
Like
one's canceling Rihanna for the Super
right.
Bowl.
And no Rihanna, and no one's canceling Rihanna for putting Johnny Depp in her fucking in the Fenty show, which was gross
What's
as
wrong with
well.
her? Why?
Like people, I think
So,
ultimately,
of all people, and that was a statement. That was
yeah,
really a statement
it
as
was
well, which
not.
I think is disgusting. I'm not a fan of Amber Heard, but clearly that man's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
So it's just like, let's not, like, you've just done something to choose sides and, like, sort of prolificate the idea that this man is
prolificate.
innocent. I just made that up. You know what I meant.
I know. I like prolificate. I might
Like,
say it. Prolification for the nation.
damn you. Thought I got away with it.
I can't, you know, I can never let that stuff go.
I shouldn't
No,
have.
sorry, go on. Amber Heard, like, and Johnny
Yeah,
Depp.
like, yeah, the fact that she actively went out and did that, and I just thought that's really sad. Not that she gives a shit what I think, but I just thought, that's awful.
What do you mean? Of course she
She should
does.
though.
She watches
I
us. She
know.
should. She should
Listen,
actually listen,
fix
B.
up.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. But I think it would have been good if she had taken the money and given it all to like an LGBTQ plus charity. That would have been really cool. Or like donated some of it
Or an
to like,
EFIBA charity.
or an foundation.
Thank you.
Yeah, the F Foundation. That would have been lovely of her, but well, I don't know. Check your account. Maybe she has. But
We need to
anyway,
set it up
I
first, but I will
hope
do that, people. I will. So if you do want to donate, like and subscribe,
and you
and
will
add
put your
some
PayPal
zeros.
details on the screen for everybody to send money to. I hope
Go
that
to my
she learned.
OnlyFans.
Ooh, nobody wants to see that. What
Maybe
do
that.
you know? Oh my
No,
God. Do you know what you should do? Basically, there was that
I
girl.
wanted to do only pets with sexy pets.
That's illegal and morally questionable. What you should do is fun for feet or fun with feet or something it's called.
No one wants to see my feet. I
Everybody,
can tell you that right now.
somebody wants to see. You're always somebody's reason to have a wank. Somebody wants to see your feet. I just saw this
It's
video.
not for my feet.
Listen,
I'll tell you that now.
this video of this girl in Mexico who makes something like $5,000 a month. She lives her life fully funded from taking pictures of her feet on the internet.
Yeah, but they usually they do like the paraffin waxes. They have everything done. It's always
Don't do
mine is
it.
chipped and
Invest in
knolled at the
yourself.
moment, and I haven't been to the foot person for a little while. Well, it's been about 3 weeks.
The foot
So yeah,
person.
my clickety clacks are not looking pristine at the moment. They sound like a dog running across wood floors. So yeah,
Literally. Where are we? Beyonce, Dubai, feet. We got sidetracked.
but
Your
also,
feet
like,
sidetracked me.
speaking of big performances
Big
and like people
performances.
coming back.
Yeah.
There was the whole thing about Sam Smith. What's your take on this? What do you know, first of all?
Well, basically, Sam Smith they have come back with a new album, and obviously
Hey. Oh,
they're non-binary. Obviously,
okay.
they've been on their journey
Sorry, I
of
didn't
like
know.
discovering their sexuality and gender identity. And so this album, I feel it's obviously like they've chosen to be like, I want to be sexy. Why not? Right. And they're showing off their body in this video. They're wearing nipple tassels and like a garter, but it's not like massively sexual. They don't have their
And
dick out, right? But obviously certain people are up in arms talking about like this is sexualizing children, this is disgusting. I saw one
where
thing.
are the children coming in? Are there kids in the video?
It's always the
Are there
children.
kids in the video?
No, of course not. They're always trying to save
Where
the
is the
kids until it comes time to actually like funding education or providing after school care. Then the kids can go fuck themselves. No, but basically, the reason why everybody's, that was it. Basically, somebody was saying this is worse than Andrew Tate is an innocent man and in prison, and yet Sam Smith is allowed to do this. This is what, like, I was blown away.
I saw something about that, and I was just like, "Are they serious? These are parents saying that they're like they've taken Andrew." First of all, I didn't know he was in he was doing exercise and fitness or something, but they were saying they're not allowing that in schools because I guess maybe on their phones and stuff because young boys are watching it and different things. Because I heard something about young girls saying how once he came out, how the boys were treating them differently.
Andrew Tate, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was.
And so how there has been an effect. There was a teacher speaking about it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So maybe I guess they've just banned from looking at that stuff and showing it to other kids in the school. But it's interesting to see because first of all, if you don't like it, don't look at it. And if you don't want your kids to see it, don't show it to them. Parental controls.
Exactly.
Like, what is happening? Why aren't these parents taking responsible for their animals?
They for their pets. They don't care about that. They just hate they hate Sam Smith because they're queer and they're overweight. That's why as well. How dare they
on them.
How dare they celebrate their body? How dare they feel comfortable and sexy and want to show off? I didn't see anybody complaining about the Pussycat Dolls gyrating in their little minutes. I didn't see anybody complaining about Christina Milian for Dip It Low when she was fucking writhing around in black tar. Do you know what I mean? In a bikini.
I saw a really good example actually, and they said it was in an article, and they were saying about the Robbie Williams video where he rips off his flesh.
Yeah,
he strips down naked and then starts ripping off his flesh
panties,
and is dancing there, and it's so sort of like, but that's okay for the kids.
Yeah,
but then that's terrible. It's just like you people are dickheads, and you haven't got a proper argument.
It's so well,
and
it's
the same with Lizzo as well.
Yeah,
and they're just like nobody needs to see that. It's disgusting. Why are you forcing it on people?
And then look away, bitch.
Don't like it. Don't look.
Look away, bitch. They're idiots. People. I gross. Marie Kondo has given up on tidying.
Good.
Which, see, I'm glad for her because I feel like
she wasn't fooled. Well, she never fooled me because.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
I've never seen it.
I heard about it and I heard about the premise, and I was just like, okay, some of it made some sense, but there were some things which was like saying get rid of books, which I'm totally against, and I was just like, get out.
At least you should donate the books if you don't want them, right?
But I love my books. I like to keep my books.
You can't read. Stop pretending.
I'll go back to them eventually
when you learn your ABCs. I just think why is Marie Kondo announcing that she's giving up tidying up? Because that's the whole purpose of Marie Kondo, right? It's entered the lexicon like, oh, I'm Marie Kondo. She's cancelled herself. She said that basically she's just had a third child and now she's like, she can't be asked.
Tired.
The thing is as well, just pay someone. You've got Marie Kondo Netflix money, like
Marie Kondo cash.
Get some help, Marie. She said, yeah, her priorities have changed.
If it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. So get rid of your kids.
Get rid of a kid, and then you can start tidying.
I'm making a mess.
Do you know what I mean? Do you think, are you, this is a rhetorical question. Would you say you're a tidy person, Efaba?
I think I am a tidy person because even though to the untrained eye it may look like a mess, I know where everything is. So it's deceptive, but it's tidy.
The thing
I think it's tidy. And then I have moments where I will just especially if I'm getting dressed for something, I'm looking for something, and then everything just gets thrown everywhere. Then I will go in and just reorganize everything, and I'll go in deep and do it all properly. And then,
I mean,
next
you're
day.
not, there's a difference between being dirty and being untidy. Like, you are not dirty, but you are untidy.
Dirty
There
pig.
is no two ways about it, because tidiness is like objective. No, it's objective, right? You
You're
can't.
anal. That's what you are.
No, I'm tidy. Sometimes I'm not. Like, there's a
Anally
lot of stuff
tidy.
to the side of the camera that I just shoved or thing. But like I'm generally fairly tidy. I like to keep a
You are
tidy
a
house,
tidy
tidy. I'm a
person.
tidy person.
Well, no, I do agree with that, where you're like, tidy house, tidy mind. It does make
Yeah,
everything look
definitely.
better.
It's true.
I
It's
go through
true.
stages, one extreme to the other.
I
Yeah.
do need to do a spring clean when I come back from Oz. I'm gonna definitely be cleaning out my cupboards because
Get
yeah.
someone else to do it.
No, I like that, and I like the feeling of like, that kind of. Then I'm like, yeah, Marie, me and you were on the same vibe. So I do
Are
like
you one of those
decluttering.
people? I really enjoy ironing and doing
I do
blah
really
blah
enjoy
blah.
ironing, actually. That's the one housework thing that I do like. I like ironing. It's very like ASMR cathartic. It's wrinkled, then it's not wrinkled. The steam, the sound of the steam. It's great. I like
It's
it.
really annoying. I feel like I'm wasting my life whilst I'm doing it
Why? Do you like
because it's
any?
boring.
I disagree
You, I
wholeheartedly.
can see how you would thoroughly enjoy it because you get a lot of pleasure out of seeing the wrinkles disappear, whereas I'm not bothered by wrinkles.
But I think it's different as a woman because your clothes generally, like a shirt, a non-iron shirt
I
looks
love
worse
shirts.
than, yeah, but you don't iron your shirts.
Always.
So never.
Don't they heat up on me?
No, and also no, shut up. And also don't come with, I'm gonna hang it in the shower while I'm having a shower.
Yes,
And
that's
now
what
we'll
I
get
do. I do
no,
actually do that.
no,
I do actually do that.
it doesn't work. It does not
It
work.
does.
No,
Also, whilst I'm wearing things, the creases start coming in anyway. So,
just because of your
it,
sexual body heat.
yeah, my
Steve heat.
sexuality.
Um,
Yes, release the heat.
do you want to get a buccal massage? Is that something you're going to be signing up for anytime soon?
Do you know what I've heard? What is the obsession with the buccal area at the moment? Because there's the buccal like surgery, and now it's the buccal massage that everyone's going on about. Do you know what?
Well,
It's
the
weird.
buccal massage came first. The buccal surgery is a
Okay,
new thing, apparently. Buccal massage is actually, for people who don't know what buccal massage is basically someone sticking their
Doom job.
fingers inside your mouth and massaging your gums and your cheeks and your
Leslie
jaw.
Grantham
Right.
style.
Yeah. And Phil Mitchell. What is it with these Tenders characters putting their fingers in their mouth and doing a
Who else did that?
film it when he was dogging? Steve
Oh,
McFadden,
Phil.
that picture in his little shorts.
Ah, so disgusting.
So nasty.
Oh my God. Anyways, we
EastEnders
digress.
characters love dogging. Right. No, buccal massage. So someone sticks their digits in your oral cavity, and it's
You have my
basically
attention.
it has been used apparently to help with like tension, headaches, and migraines, because apparently the muscles on our face or something aren't actually connected to the bones. It's like this spaghetti junction of muscles. So you can actually like stretch the muscles out and like,
So I can get rid of this.
well, that's
Basically, will make
apparently
it
one of
less
the,
worse.
yeah, that's one of the side effects,
Hmm.
is it can help with like what are they called,
Is it like
nasolabial
that
lines,
gua sha stuff? Like, when you do the massage
with the
with the
jade
little
roller and
pieces.
stuff. Well, I guess, but
Yeah, yeah,
except it's
yeah.
inside your mouth, basically. Yeah, I
I
mean,
won't even say
everybody's
that.
doing it.
Gua
J-Lo,
sha.
Meghan Markle, like, is everyone's, I don't know, but I don't like the idea of a
Well,
latex
do you know what?
gloved
I saw a
finger in
picture
my
of
mouth.
J-Lo recent. Sorry, I saw a picture of J-Lo recently, and she was like, without any makeup or anything. And she actually looked really good, I have
She
to say.
does.
She
She
didn't
looks
look, how
great.
some people look a bit frightening.
I don't know
She
how
actually
much of
looked.
that is down to buccal massage,
I
but
don't think it's all buccal massage for sure.
do you
But
know what I mean?
considering no matter what she's done, she still looked very good because
Yeah, no,
you've
she
seen
does.
how some
Look good.
people, even if they have had help, look terrifying without the makeup. So
Like who? Name
yeah,
names. Say their names.
say their names. I can't think of
Um,
anyone off the top of my head, but
Neither can I.
yeah,
I
I
don't.
think
I'm
they're
not.
there.
I'm not going to be signing up for a buccal massage anytime soon. I
You could
don't
do
think.
it to yourself.
I don't know if you can.
Why not?
Like, because it's with the
I'm sure you can watch
two
a YouTube video and work it
how
out.
to DIY buccal massage. Well, I'm not going to.
Yeah,
So
check it
there we
out.
go.
I'm going to investigate.
I've never even had a normal massage.
You've never had a massage?
No, I don't get it. I
You're
find it weird.
missing out. It's
Why
one of
everybody
life's
says this.
pleasures.
I think this is one of
You
those
would
times.
absolutely love it.
I think this is one of those times where everyone else in the world is wrong and I'm right. It happens
Okay.
often. Like 7 billion, blah, blah, million, 100,000 trillion people. I'm right. I don't like the idea
Okay.
of someone pawing at me while I'm hot and sweating, covered in oil on a
Well,
thing. Like,
That's
what
your
if you
first
fart?
problem.
What if you fall
They're not
asleep?
pouring on you. Also, you paid for the massage, so you can do whatever you like. Excrete gases, fall
I don't want to
asleep,
do that.
snore.
Do
They
you
can deal with that. Most people understand there is a courtesy code, and you usually don't try and do that. But if it is done, you will not be shamed.
have you farted during a massage before?
No, but I have been molested by a mess.
I just don't, I don't get it. But if massages make you happy, go nuts. But I won't be getting a massage, and I definitely won't be getting a buccal massage. So there you go. Case closed.
Well, you're missing out, but it could be something you could try in
You're missing
Australia.
out. Maybe I'll get a massage on the beach in Byron Bay and just be really zen and get some crystals or something.
Yeah, hear the waves, hold
Hear the
some
wa-
crystals, get a massage, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Ukrainian refugees, do my fucking head in. Sorry, rude. I'm pissed.
Why are you order?
This has pissed
Do you
me
know what?
right off.
I knew from the beginning,
Mhm.
from when the way they treated
Speak on
black
it.
people,
Go
when there was
ahead.
bloody war on, and they were literally just treating them like shit, and they showed their ass. That's why I didn't post anything.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's the whole country, but I was like, no, because you've shown yourself you would not help me. You don't care for people that look like me, so I do not care for that. I'm not going to support it. And then the news comes out about a refugee who came over to the UK, and she was
To
staying
Birmingham.
in
It was in
Birmingham.
Birmingham. Yeah.
Right. And so her child was going to school, and the mother, the woman that's hosting, the family that's hosting, she was speaking to the mother because there was a mother and a child. And she was speaking to her, and she was like, I don't feel safe. There's too many brown people, black people
Muslims
around
in
here.
particular.
And Muslims, yeah.
Muslims.
First it was Muslims, and then she was like, "Oh, the school's not safe because it's a lot of brown and black children." It's just sort of like, do you want to go back to the war?
Yeah.
Do
I
you
can't
want to go
believe
back?
the
The
caucasity.
cheek
I
of
mean, I
it, get out.
can. The thing is,
Get out. But
obviously,
it didn't surprise me. I was just disgusted.
it
I was
didn't
just like, you
surprise
know what,
me.
get out.
But yeah, I was disgusted. I mean, obviously, not everybody in Ukraine is a racist, but
No,
we are not gonna let
there is
that
a
slide.
culture of it
There's
there
a
that they're very
culture.
comfortable
Yeah.
with.
Yes.
So more than likely, yeah. And the fact of the matter is, they would not help me for sure. So it's really sad, but it's amazing the audacity. It's just sort of like, hold on a minute, you've just fled your
I
war-torn
couldn't
country, and then
like.
you come here, and this is the kind of bullshit that you want to
It
do.
was so funny
Yeah.
though. Like I watched the news. There was like a BBC thing about it, and like the mother, the British host, was being interviewed, and it was so English the way they dealt with it. It was like after basically what they should have said was that after this Ukrainian
Made you
woman
feel quite
revealed herself to be a
uncomfortable.
massive fucking racist, the woman kicked her out of the house and said jog on. But it was like after the disagreement, they decided it was best to end the
I
relationship.
felt
Like
we
fuck
weren't a good
off.
match.
Just piss off. Like go like just I don't want to say go back where you came from, but like
The one time we can.
do you know what I
Do
mean?
you know what?
Like do you have no
That's the
idea
only
of the
time it's valid.
situation you find yourself in? Like get over yourself. Just fucking grow up,
Unbelievable.
you
I'm not
stupid
really.
idiot.
Well, do you know
Anyway,
what? It's never been the first stop destination for me to be.
me neither. Not
And
me
I
neither.
can't say it will be afterwards either. So,
No. I mean, yeah, no, definitely not. We know my feelings.
even if they do
We know
ban me
my
from ever going there, no love lost.
we know my feelings about Eastern Europe. I've seen Hostel. I won't be going.
All played. Okay. All right. What about Croatia, John?
Do you know what? Croatia, get sandy beaches and I'll go.
I know the beaches are crap.
Croatia is a shit Italy. I'm just gonna say it. It's a shit Italy. And I don't care. If we get cancelled, fine. Come at me.
I don't feel bad.
I don't. I have no. I said what I said.
They can keep
Like,
it. Oh, but
do you
the
know what I
water's
mean?
so nice. Get out.
Move.
Keep your kunas
You
and
know
get
what? The
out.
water's also nice in Italy, and there is food.
Yeah.
Oh, but Croatian
Potty,
food.
patati, sexy
Sit down.
food, Aperol spritz, beautiful history.
Like,
Yes.
right. Have I
Take
been to
Italy any.
Croatia? No. So I probably
I
shouldn't
have.
comment, but I don't
I
care.
have, and they tried
Yeah.
to scam me. So
Listen, I listen to what Black people say and
big
their
X.
experiences in countries, and that does have an effect on whether I would choose to go to a country. And listen, when I tell you, living here in Berlin, nearly 100%, I would say, of the instances of people being like racist to me, it's people of Polish origin. There's a lot of Polish people here because we're really, really close to the border. So I'm like, I have no wish to go to
Poles
Poland.
in the UK, and they
Maybe
have
Poles in
pronounced.
the UK, but Poles in Berlin, in my
Oh yeah, it's a
experience,
different
are not
story.
really. So,
Maybe.
like, if that makes me a terrible person, then so be it. But I'm not. You know, on my deathbed, my dying breath is not going to be like, but I didn't see Gdansk. So, do you know what I mean?
Although I would say I do have the mindset where everyone should go somewhere at least once just to experience it
Yeah,
and know for yourself whether you love
course.
it or hate it.
Of course.
But I was, because I always wanted to go to China, and I was actually put off by this video I saw recently of two black girls on the
On the
train in
train, yeah.
China. And literally everybody, they were sat there, and everybody on the train is just staring at them. Can you
Yeah.
imagine sat
People
on a
turning
packed train
around from the seat in
and
front.
every
Yeah.
single person is turned around on their seat, just staring at you, not saying anything?
Yeah.
How terrifying and intimidating that must be.
Yeah.
That kind of, I would have kicked off
Yeah.
and then ran off.
It's just there was. I also
that
saw
really,
another.
really puts me off. It
I
really
also saw
does.
another video recently of this black guy in I think it was Mumbai at this really for that big giant arch thing in Mumbai or something. It's this big sightseeing thing, and people were just like flocking to him, like touching him. And the thing is, you see those videos, most of the black people aren't reacting. He was like, "Get the fuck off me!" Like getting really like. And like,
hold on a minute. In India, you've got very dark Indians. I mean,
yeah, but like he was very tall. He like, you know, he was but whatever. Like it was, I
So
just
weird.
and you know, and obviously that's not every black person's experience in this country. I'm sure there's amazing things to see in every country, of course, but like it gives me pause for thought. It
These are
definitely
things that
gives
you
me
have to
pause
take
for
into
thought.
consideration.
Yeah.
Am I in the mood for this bullshit?
Do you know what I mean? Like, and then what if you piss someone off and you just don't know what's going to happen in these places. Like you rub the wrong person up the wrong way, and God knows what's going to happen to you. So I'm just.
No, I did have two friends who went to Prague, and they had a wonderful time just a couple of days ago. Thoroughly enjoyed it. They said it was super, super friendly, really, really nice. They like treated really, really well.
Were they black?
Yes, it was Nia and her sister,
Oh,
girlfriend.
Okay.
And they went and they said it was amazing. They had a wonderful time. They were treated really well. Everything was wonderful. So
Well, maybe I need to take a trip to Prague.
just not
I
nice.
would love to see Prague. It's clearly beautiful, stunning,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, anyway. All right. So we gonna talk about the children, the kids, the wee bairns.
Goddamn kids.
Childhood. Childhood as a concept is a kind of pretty new thing, to be honest. Like you didn't really have a childhood until wait, hold on. I've got the facts here. Like, you know, most kids were working, right? From whatever.
They've
from
got such nimble little fingers. It's perfect.
Do you know what I mean?
And they've got so much energy as well.
I know, and they can they can scuttle around, picking up the little bits of fabric to make extra clothes. That's literally what they used to do.
Very nice stitching.
Child labor laws were first introduced in 1833 and 1842. The first one was in the UK. The first one was called the Factory Act, and that prohibited employing children younger than 9 years of age. And 9 years, and limited the hours that children could work, but limited the hours that children between the ages of 9 and 13 could work. So and then the Mines Act.
I think I did this at school.
Probably, I think so, but I don't remember.
Mm.
The Mines Act in 1842 raised the age that kids could start working in coal mines to 10 years old. So before that, kids younger than 10 had been working down fucking mines. Like, and I remember going to Wales when I was like in year 6, and we went on like on a school trip, and we went to this
Yeah.
like coal mine, and they take you down and like they tell you all about the, the thing, and like I don't know if you've ever been down a coal mine, but like, and this was like
Funny
a
enough, no.
sanitized,
I love that that was a fun school trip. We're going to take you and show you how
well,
good you...
well, no, but it's like the history of Wales and blah blah
No,
blah.
I
Like, it was
understand.
cool. It was really interesting. Like, but I was like, this is a sanitized coal mine with like lights and everything, and still, it's fucking awful down there, right? It's really
Did they
hot.
make you get some coal and bring it up?
No, they did give you a piece of coal at the end. I do remember that, but I think I lost mine. You do, basically, coal mining is not a fun thing to do. Like, and think about coal mining in the 19th century. What these kids had to fucking it's not fun.
Yeah,
So-
it's a lot, because you had a lot of obviously factory work, because obviously with the industrialization of everything,
yeah,
so they had lots of kids working with the new machinery, nimble little
nimble
fingers
fingers.
in there. In the UK, they loved it. And then sending them up and down chimneys like we do have in Mary Poppins.
I know,
And they
but
make it all fun and games.
yeah. Have you can you imagine those chimney sweeps? I think the average age of a chimney sweep to die was like 20s. Like chimney sweeps, it's
So
not cool.
awful.
You have to climb
Literally.
down.
I know.
No.
I'll send a child down a tiny little confined space filled with soot,
Oh,
where they could like break their
get
neck or
stuck, break
whatever,
their neck, breathing in this. No, man. Like,
because we have to have a fire.
well, I mean, you kind of
Well, I
did
guess they didn't
back
have
then,
brekkie.
right? That's how you kept warm. Like, you don't have a fire, you freeze to death. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like all this shit's been romanticized, like Mary Poppins. It's not fun being a chimney sweep. Like, there's one I remember in Oliver, there's one bit where like it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, one of the songs, and they're all singing out the top of the chimneys with their like
Oh
chimney
yeah.
sweep brooms, like having a jolly old time. Nah, you're gonna be
Well,
dead in
look,
5
we'll be
years.
heading back to that soon. The
Probably.
way Britain's going.
Probably. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
seriously, they're
Well.
taking away all the laws from the EU, so anything's possible.
Right, child labor laws. They might even do it by mistake. This whole thing with this raft of laws they're trying to repeal,
Oh.
right? They said because it's something like 4,000 laws they want to get rid of by the end of the year. These
They're
EU
just
laws,
taking a
so
whole
they're
chunk
just
out.
literally chucking it out of the window. And half of the things people are like, but they haven't had time to assess what the laws are, what effects they could have. They're like, no, don't care,
Right,
just get rid of
perhaps
it.
everything.
Just get rid of it. Don't want it. Throw it away.
Arseholes.
Arseholes.
Such dickheads.
Arseholes.
Terrible.
Um,
But yeah, it's a weird thing. So obviously, before there wasn't really much of a childhood. There was something, but it was short-lived, and you probably couldn't really remember much about it.
no, right?
And then now, with like, when we think back to our childhood and modern childhood, now it's a different ball
It's
game.
different. Well, I mean, the
When
thing
do you
is,
think childhood ends here? Like, for us,
I
like, when did your
mean,
childhood end?
I guess it's supposed to be, think it's like 18, right? For us, I guess that's when you become
Legally, yes.
legally. In my soul, I'm still a child. I don't think my childhood has really
I know.
ended. Like the way I've have a very childlike view of the world, but sometimes I think.
It's true.
But
It's very true.
childhood, like I don't know. I don't know. I really couldn't say actually.
Happens when you see one of your parents cry. And you're just
Wow.
like,
Wow, that's really deep. In that case, it's probably like 6 or 7. Like, but the thing is, we're talking about like the history of childhood, but all these things about child labor, like a lot of the world,
it's still going on around the world. Like in Africa, they've got lots of those kids in the mines.
in the mines.
And then also in India, you've got a lot, and in different parts of Asia, working in sweatshops, factories for Primark and so on.
Does the fact that child labor is quite possibly involved in things that you buy have an effect on what you buy and your shopping habits, do you think?
Well, I have to say, John, it's all about perspective. So
You sound like a Tory minister about to lie through their teeth. Go ahead, Michael Gove.
so really, you could look at it as providing an opportunity for an individual to provide for their families
Wow.
because it's going to happen. So if I don't buy it, they lose jobs. Although I'm joking, by the way, that is a joke. But no, normally have tried to cut down on my consuming a lot. I don't really shop that much. I would rather buy quality pieces, which last longer than buying
Fast
throwaway shit.
fashion.
Yeah, fast fashion, because it usually is awful anyways. Although, don't get me
Mm.
wrong, I have fallen through the net here and there and given in to a few things. But in general, no, I try to avoid it.
I
But
mean,
yeah, I have
I
been known to venture into Zara every now and again. But I do try
I
and repair clothing. Like I'm quite nifty with a needle and thread.
I
You just ignore. You're like, mhm.
yeah, like
Have you ever darned a sock?
I know how to sew on a button and like, you know, if something
Yeah,
falls off like that, I'm not totally helpless. But no, I don't think I've ever donned a sock. I mean,
innocent babbies.
if I'm honest, I don't think twice. I don't, you know, and
Really? Not at all.
using my phone as well, my iPhone that has like cobalt in it, right? That's one of the main things that makes smartphones work, and half of that stuff is mined by kids in the Congo. So anyone that
Yeah.
has a smartphone has basically like blood on their hands,
Right, but it's a
and
necessary evil. But the fact of the matter is, you've got people who get a new smartphone every year when a new one comes
I mean, I
out,
don't do that.
or people who use the same one because we need to get them. You sometimes you can't even function in the modern day world without having a smartphone. So it's a necessary evil, unfortunately. What we need to do is put pressure on the companies to say, like, right, you need to make this more ethical. You need to stop sending kids down these mines.
Yeah,
There
of
need to be more
course.
safe things in place. But yeah, I feel like not everyone's fully aware of that information or blissfully unaware,
Well, I don't
basically.
know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I guess I should do more research. Like I use ASOS a lot, and
Why
I
does the onus fall on the consumer? It should fall on the corporations
of course it
making the
should.
products
Of
and the
course it should.
governments. They're the ones doing it.
But
Like we, as the consumers, we need these
when
items.
have corporations and governments ever done anything
Well,
without
just
consumer
because
pressure
it hasn't
before?
been done doesn't mean it shouldn't
Yeah,
be.
of
So
course,
that's
but
what
it
needs to be done.
doesn't. The world we live in, if you want things to change, like it needs to be people. The
Yeah.
corporation's not going to suddenly develop a conscience and be like, "Oh, we have to stop
Right,
using child labor."
absolutely. And
Like,
we can do our part. We can do our part by vocalizing and consuming less. And
yeah, I
also
could do
because
that.
of, I guess, from the pandemic and with this current crisis with everyone having to cut back a little bit, I feel like that's definitely going to have an impact and make people think twice about what they're buying and whether it's essential and get back to,
I
not
think
being
that's
so
more to do
wasteful.
with money, though, rather than is it made by children. Like, I don't think
Yes,
right
it's more to
now.
do with money, but who cares about the reasoning behind it? If it has an effect and an impact and makes them start moving in the right way, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, I just don't think. Yeah, you're right, but I think it's a bit. What am I trying to say? I just think the only way we can kind of end child labor, if that's even ever going to be a reality, is
Mm.
for consumers, and
To
I'm guilty of
boycott.
it, is for us to boycott and to put pressure on, yeah, corporations and governments to end it. But then, yeah, it's I don't know, it's messed up. I mean, but there are so many messed up things with childhood still, like child
What
soldiers,
about so
child
yeah, child
marriage.
safe.
Like
Yeah.
we I think
The funny thing is,
we take childhood for granted. Like obviously we take childhood for granted. We all had,
mm,
even with whatever trauma we went through in childhood, we all had pretty good childhoods, right? Like
yeah,
I think probably more children than not don't have that experience in the world
yeah,
globally, right? We're
absolutely.
very
100%.
privileged.
And the funny thing is, usually when people speak about these things, they usually think, oh, so-called third world countries. But you think in America, there's a lot of child marriage still going on. I was
Gross,
watching
yeah.
this Be Sweet um, documentary on Netflix about that FLDS or whatever they are, part of the Mormon church.
LDS.
Yeah, the Latter-day Saints, that's it.
Yeah,
The fundamental Latter-day Saints. And so they were doing the child marriage, and this is like the
that's
so-called
so
first
fucked
world
up.
country with everything fine. And it's like the police force knew about it. They were all involved in
It's
it. Everyone was
legal.
just like, well, this is what happens. It's what they do. It's God's will. And then, but they criticize other
But wait,
countries
hold
where it
on, hold on,
happens. It's
hold on,
like, this
hold
is
on, hold
America.
on, hold on. Is it, it's not, is child marriage, because there are states in America where child marriage is actually legal. Is it legal in Utah? Because
If you
that's
get
where,
permission from your parents, it depends on each state because there was places where that they were doing it when they were 14 and they said that's
like in
illegal,
Tennessee or somewhere, and maybe they've finally made it illegal now, but until very recently, it was like Kentucky or Tennessee, 14-year-olds could get married.
which is insane. Can you imagine seeing someone's face
Hmm.
for the rest of your life from the age of 14 up until you die?
Disgusting. It's
Absolutely
so
not.
disgusting. But
So
this is
ridiculous.
the reality. Oh, is my camera gone out of focus?
Yes, a little bit. I thought that was me. I
What
thought
am I
that was
doing? A
me for
little
a
bit there. Let
second.
me try and
And
there we
focus.
go. Oh, look,
How did you do that?
I put my hands in front of the thing, the lens, and I didn't. That was just intuitive. Wow, I am a genius.
Oh my God, that's
Good
crazy.
Lord.
Yeah.
So being a kid now, modern
Mhm.
childhood, as it were.
I think we had a great childhood though, in comparison to
But would
now.
you call our childhood a modern childhood?
No,
In the
no,
end,
modern childhood,
I'm talking about I'm talking.
uh,
Well, I should say contemporary childhood, like now.
contemporary childhood.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think there are pros and cons to both, 100%. Because sometimes I do see like my niece and nephews growing up, and I'm just like, you lucky little buggers,
Yeah,
you know,
everything
being
at their
able
fingertips.
literally so easy. But then there are other elements where I'm just like, absolutely not, wouldn't want it. So glad didn't have to
Yeah.
deal with that.
I
Yeah.
think I think obviously um I think maybe the main thing, the difference between our childhood and contemporary kids growing up is like our world view. Like even though we kind of grew
Mm.
up with the internet as we were young adults, we didn't grow up with it, we weren't born with it, right? We weren't digital natives or whatever it's called.
Had
And I
encyclopedias.
think that right, we had
Look
exactly,
it
you
up
had actual encyclopedia books,
in
um
the library.
in the right, and going to the library and all that stuff. Right now, I think the world is so small. Like kids
Mm.
nowadays, like nothing seems
Did you
far
have a pen
away. Or
pal?
I had
Like a
well,
foreign pen pal?
I
We had to
wrote.
do that.
I didn't. I don't know if I had a pen pal. I wrote to my German exchange. We wrote letters to each other, but yeah, I guess kind of.
Mm.
But right, imagine it trying to explain a pen pal to a kid now. Like they'd be like, "What the
Well,
fuck?"
writing letters
It's
full
like
stop.
writing letters. It's like it was like would they be like writing on wax tablets to them? I think the
But
what?
I
Yeah,
saw this thing. Okay, this was what was weird. I saw this thing that's like, oh, so they got a millennial to say, how do you sign that you're on the phone? So the millennial did this,
yeah.
and then to the other kid,
They
they
do
did
this.
this,
They do
they did
that.
this or this,
They
and
do
then
that.
when it was like take a picture, this, and then the other one was this.
Oh my god, I haven't heard. I'd heard about the phone one before, but
Yeah, but
wait,
the
we do
picture,
this and
we
they
do
do
this, they
yeah,
do
and they
that.
do that. Is that
We're
my
old.
door? Oh wait,
No,
hold
that was
on.
my foot.
Hi, I'm back. Do you know what? I've had that package for so long, and I can tell he's been round like about 10 times to try and get it.
Have
But
you
I'm
literally
always
just been hiding from him?
no, I just am not in. It's like, well, if you get a package delivered to my house and I'm good enough to take it in, you need to work to my schedule. If I'm in, I'm in. If not, tough
Fair
titties.
enough.
Tough
Mhm.
Selena S titties. Um, yeah, I think for I think the main difference maybe between our childhood and now is the internet, right? Like,
Technology,
and I think obviously, yeah, that's a double-edged sword. Obviously, the knowledge that you have at your fingertips is immense. But for things like bullying, when I was being bullied
social
at
media.
school, I could just go home at the end of the day and close the door, and the bullies weren't there. But now
Yeah,
they're in your inbox,
they're in your house,
they're in your
in your room.
house, like you can't get away from it. And that's definitely, and just the pressure, I think, now of being all, seeing all
Yeah.
these like images of like constant like perfection and filters and all that crap. Like it's
God. Yeah, it's weird.
That's
I
hard.
don't miss that part at all. I'm glad. I'm like, it's interesting to experience it now. But for me personally, I just think that's not a good thing because I think back
No.
to the amount of times I was drunk in a field or doing something inappropriate,
Yeah.
and just the thought of that being recorded. And you hear stories of like, so young, so a friend who was 10 years younger, she was saying how it was common at school, how boys would be with girls and film them doing intimate acts, and then it would get spread around the school, and that
Oh my
wasn't a
God.
weird occurrence. And I'm just thinking that'd be awful. That would be absolutely horrendous. And once it's online, it's never going away.
Yeah, right. It's
People
true. The
always
internet
have it,
never
and you don't
forgets.
know where it ends up as well.
And it's so easy when you're a kid to, obviously that's things
Like
of
we're
like
idiots.
non-consent, right? You don't think, you post
You're
anything.
just like, whatever.
Whatever, just
Oh
crazy.
my God, the amount of times I oh
I
God,
still
it's
post a
so
lot of stuff that I
happy.
probably shouldn't post now, and I'm an adult, so I don't.
Yeah,
Kids
you have
definitely,
no filter.
kids. Yeah. Well, when they filter, sometimes no filter is
Yeah,
good. Just
it has
like
its
I'm like
place.
raw, unfiltered coffee, a shock to the system, a
Makes you
jolt.
want to shit yourself.
Yeah, instant regret. What have I written down here? Changing view of children's plays. I think now, yeah, like I suppose people's view of children and childhood is changing. We look at someone maybe like Greta Thunberg, who's kind of only
Yeah,
just
well,
out of childhood. She's changing the world. 16-year-olds
before it,
now are like in
that,
some elections are able to vote. Like, I think childhood is getting the age at which people are considered to be like more mature and adult is getting lower,
relevant.
right?
Yeah. Well, it used to be the case of there was the expression, children should be seen and not heard.
I fully agree with
And
that
especially
statement.
when you're around adults, and especially coming from sort of like a cultural background with African parents,
Yeah,
or yeah, it was a case of you respect your elders,
of
and
course.
it
Yeah.
was very, you wouldn't really argue with them or
Mm.
anything like that. So in a way, I definitely think it's a good thing that there is a bit more fluidity with it. But I have also seen the flip side where it's just like your child is rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like you're giving them far too much
Try
space.
try and sit forward more in the camera because you keep on going dark and light as
Oh,
you move
really?
back and forth. Yeah, when you sit back, it's like, yeah.
I'm doing a shimmy. But no, I think they've been given far too much space in some areas where it's just sort of like, okay, this is not all about you, and it's not teaching them how to interact in the real world
Yeah.
as they're growing up, because there needs to be certain boundaries that sort of help you move into adulthood, I think.
I mean,
But I do
definitely
think
though,
it's
yeah.
great that there are people like Greta, and they're taken seriously and they're respected. I think that's important.
Yeah, I mean,
So
out of the mouths of babes, right?
mm,
But then obviously that's something they that the conservatives and people like that just are like, oh, but she's just a kid. What does she know? It's like she knows a hell of a lot more than you
she
fucking
knows how to put Andrew
amoeba.
Tate in prison.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what she
Um,
knows.
yeah, I think it's good that children are being listened to more in certain ways. Like obviously sometimes it's like, no, you are just a kid, just sit down, be quiet, like you don't know best.
I have great
But
opinions though. I love speaking with toddlers. They can be funny.
yeah,
Young
they are
kids can
funny.
be
They're
very
honest.
entertaining.
They're very brutally honest. And
Mm,
I like that. Do you know what I mean? If you ask a
yeah.
kid something, you're gonna get an honest answer.
Yeah.
So
Up until I think from between the age of 4 and like 9, I think that's when they're golden. That's when you can have a good, funny conversation with them and
I
get some gems.
yeah. Uh
You're literally like,
um
absolutely not.
do there's obviously a lot of like climate worry and stuff among kids now as
Mm.
well. Like there's a big problem with like mental health and people, people deciding not to have kids because of what the shit that we're in,
It's
right?
real. It's a
Um
lot of people are just like, why would I bring someone into the world and leave them in this shit show?
yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah,
valid
yeah.
reason as far as I'm concerned,
I
you
mean,
know.
that's one of the many reasons why I have chosen not to have children. Like, it's not the number one thing, but
It definitely is in there.
it's yeah, basically, it's like, you know, I think you'd be slightly slow if that wasn't a consideration. No, like whether or not you then decide to have a child is up to you, but I just think most people must consider that now, right? Anybody with half a brain.
Yeah, I would have thought so. And then be like, fuck it.
Would you rather be a kid now or have had the child, like had our childhood?
I would rather have had my childhood. Absolutely, 100%.
Same.
No question about it.
Like running out all day, like just coming back when, you know, it sounds like a fucking Facebook post, but like, you know, when the lights.
The main reason is because of social media.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
it's definitely taken away a lot from kids. It's definitely given them a lot of information, which is power, but it's also stolen a lot of
Their innocence,
innocence and
yeah.
also and put a lot of pressure on them. And it's made the world a scarier place because now you've got people stalking kids through like these apps as well. All
Yeah.
horrible things.
And I mean,
And
I
there's
think
always pedos.
when we were kids, also, I know inflation and stuff, but I just feel like everything was cheaper. Like you could go out with like, you know, a travel card was like
We're
a
old.
travel
Oh,
card
I
was like
remember when.
it's true though. Like a travel card was like, oh my God, what was it? I saw this thing the other day. In 7 years, 1980 will be 50 years ago. I paused.
I knew it.
Things were
I
cheaper
don't like
in our
both of
day. You could
those.
get, you know, you could go and you get an extra value meal at McDonald's was £2. Remember when it was £2.88 for an extra
God,
value
yes, I do
meal?
remember that.
I remember that. That was when we had known each other in the time that so it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't when we were like 8, 9, 10. It was when we were nearly like
Hold on, no,
20.
and a meal.
It was a
Yeah,
big.
actually,
I
it
remember
was.
you getting a £2.88 extra value Big Mac meal in the Kensington McDonald's, Kensington High Street.
Okay.
So it must be from at
Legendary.
least 1997 or 1998. I think they put the prices up shortly
Yeah.
after. But stuff was cheaper. I feel like you had more freedom. We had more. I feel like parents were less hip. Wow, parents were hip. Hip to my game.
What is
Parents,
happening to
I
you?
feel
You're aging before.
I'm literally like,
Down with the kids. We spoke about this yesterday, not yesterday, last time, and now look at you.
wow. I feel like parents were less aware of the shit that kids get up to. Our parents were less
Oh
aware.
yeah,
Whereas now parents are a lot more savvy, I think, about.
mum's net.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly right. They're all sharing information with each other. Kids can't like run around. We got to do basically
away
whatever
with
we
it.
wanted, pretty much.
I remember saying, "Oh yeah, we've got to go on a school trip." Then saying we were going to the theatre
Right?
and getting money to go to the theatre, and then going to a club in Essex.
There you go.
That would not
That
happen.
would not happen now because there'd be an email or like the school has a WhatsApp group or whatever, right? Like there's
Yeah,
no
they do
way.
everything.
And now as well,
Everything.
you can't, not that I ever did, but you can't plagiarism, can't do it at university because they run it through their software. You can't
You
do
don't
it.
need it. You can use Chat GPT.
That
You're good to
no,
go.
that scares me. That thing, it's gonna that's Skynet. What did I put into it the other day?
It's
I
amazing. I like it.
no, there's something about it.
I
It's
feel
very.
like it can be harnessed.
It feels very sinister to me. This chat for GPT, right? It's this
Everything's going
AI.
to be used for sinister means, but I feel like there could be positives coming out of it.
Well,
But the only
nothing.
problem is,
Kylie Minogue is not going to be used for sinister means. Don't say
are
everything
you
is going to
sure?
be used for sinister means.
Are you sure?
How dare you? No, there's something, it's weird. No, I don't like it. And then they said that they wrote a speech that was given on like the floor of Congress or something the other day.
Yeah, well, they've done lots of things. It writes code, it writes books. You can write in the tone of your style, so it will find out information about you and write something that so it sounds like it was written by you. But
Wait, hold on. Chat for GPT, if anyone doesn't know, is this AI program where you can basically ask it any question and it will give you a flawless, perfect answer, like literally any question in seconds.
In seconds, you can write essays. So universities have been testing it. So they've been setting essays, but then they've also been using it on the flip side so as in the professors saying grade this essay. it's flawless. So people were like, "Oh my God, our jobs are
But it's
redundant."
not
No,
flawless. That's the
if you know how
thing.
to use it,
It's
it's
not
not
flawless because
flawless.
I was watching this thing and the guy was saying, well, I don't know if he was like the developer or whatever. He was like,
He did
it's
a good
basically
job.
still very much in its infancy. It's brand new, pretty
Of course,
much.
it only came out in November.
No, this thing's going to take over the world and kill us all. I'm not into it.
Of course, it's definitely
And
a
I
step
feel,
forward, but this has
no.
been around for a while. It's just that now this is open for a lot of people, and it can go like as with anything, something like this with a big technological advance, it will have its pros and its cons, but you just need to find out how you can use it to your advantage.
I don't know. I just think, as usual with things like this, everyone's so busy thinking we can, they don't worry about whether we should. And,
I think there
you
are a lot
know,
of people worrying about what we should and
well,
didn't
yeah, but
get.
they're not the ones that are actually like in control of it. And like, you know, social media is the thing before this, I guess, which illustrates this, is that like, yes, social media can still be very good. It can, you know, connect to people, but it's basically poisoned the world, social media. And what's to say AI isn't going to do the same? And if AI can fucking think for itself, no, I'm not. I genuinely, this scares me. Like, it scares me.
And it's
But
good to be afraid of it. Always be aware
just like chat
that,
4GP. Also, it sounds like a
but
fucking
it's
sex
here and
line.
it's not going
It
anywhere.
sounds
So
like a
let's
sex line,
use it.
chat 4GPT. It's like, it doesn't, it's a stupid name. I'm sorry, chat 4GPT, don't kill me. It's become
They come
aware.
and feed
It's
on.
sentient.
It's Chat GPT. No one says Chat for
Oh, I
GPT.
thought it was chat 4GPT. Mask for mask.
Not down with the kids.
I think, well, the next thing we're going to say is, has childhood become shorter? I think we just answered that question. Yes, I think it has. I think kids lose their innocence a lot younger. Not
Yes,
necessarily about like set. Well, I
no.
saw that basically
Does it not depend on your parents?
listen, 1 in 10 children, a bit up to the age of 9, has viewed porn. Right. When I was growing up, I
What?
remember, right, one in
One in
10,
10.
1 in 10 children up under the age of 9 or at the age of 9
Well,
has seen pornographic content, right? And when we were growing up, I was thinking about this yesterday when I was reading the plan. I remember being
your
in
first
second,
porn.
no, being in secondary school and being in like the 4th year, right? So what, that's like 15 maybe, and people bringing
Okay.
in page 3, right? So not even like hardcore porn, just fucking Melinda Messenger with their tits out, right? And people being like,
Oh
oh
my
wow,
God,
like
when you say page 3, I instantly think of that girl that was on X Factor with the sock tits. Not that I'm shaming anyone,
Ab Lisa, the one that
but
punched her friend in the face
the spaniels.
with the boxing gloves, and it was like that, and she had, yeah, spaniel tits, and her nipples are the same color as her tit.
It looked like soured milk and
It was
stuff.
really like ski jump tits, not tit shaming
Oh,
anyone, but hers
yes.
were, yeah. Um,
Hmm.
that she punched her friend, her best friend in the face on live TV. Like, you're a dickhead. Uh, I remember, and Cheryl
That would
Cole
be
was so
really sad
shocked.
if that was the first edition. That was the first.
The
Oh,
first what?
sorry, I digress. If that was the first picture, porn picture, that's all that would put you off for life.
That gay for life. Um, but yeah, right. Like, so, and that was like a picture of a woman with showing her breasts. It wasn't like
Yeah.
fisting or anything, right? But now kids see, clearly, according to this study,
Everything.
kids see a lot of fucked up shit,
And it's free.
and it's all, yeah, like,
Remember when you had to pay for porn?
right, and like, and I think as well, not just with porn, like just in general, like video game. I'm not trying to be like, ooh, video nasties, when they were like trying to ban video games, but you know, video games, music videos, like all this stuff is really sexualized and violent, and it's got to have an effect on kids, right? It's got to.
When you think of like female avatars in video games, they're all incredibly busty.
Right, sexy, teeny little ways, big titties, like
Yeah.
there is a loss of innocence, I think. But I think maybe it's not, I think in some ways I think that's bad, but I feel like maybe in some ways is it not necessarily a bad thing, because
It's an evolution.
it's an evolution, and our world is changing and is a lot more kind of like,
Because we're one of the most useless animals. Like most animals,
yeah,
when they're born, give them a couple of months, weeks, or hours, and they're up and out.
minutes, they're fucking up and walking.
We're literally almost 40, and still.
Okay. Okay. I'll play along.
Oh,
No, it's
almost 26 and still.
right. I know. Wow. So I've come so far. So much to learn, though. Still, but what is it that the reason that babies are born at 9 months is because our brains couldn't get any bigger, otherwise we wouldn't fit through the
Oh,
birth canal. So basically,
oh my God, I just cackled.
everyone's like babies,
I
we're
thought
basically
of it.
born half cooked. Like human babies are useless. They can't do anything. They can't
Like
control their
a
bowels. They
Joey.
can't see, right? But at least a human baby doesn't
Gross.
crawl inside its mum's purse like a Joey and
Well,
then
at least she has the
suckle.
decency to give it a pocket.
I just don't. The thing that I don't like about kangaroos is the raw teat inside the pouch. I can deal with the pouch. It's the raw
I
teat.
don't like them full stop. I think
You've
they're
got a
evil
thing about
demons.
kangaroos. They've got a. I'm about to see some roos in real
Oh, I
life,
see some
maybe,
real
and
roots.
some chlamydia-ridden koalas hanging from the trees as well. Hopefully.
Always fun. Don't bring it back.
Um,
You are koala-esque, actually.
I move very slowly and like to stay in one place, so I think that's quite
Yes,
koala-ish.
pretty
Right?
much.
And I enjoy
Yes.
eating, but they only eat do you know what? With koalas and panda bears, diversify your diet. Everyone's like saying the koalas and the
That's why they're
pandas
bad.
because their forests, their habitats are being cut down. Eat
Pandas are
something
dumb.
else. Pandas are dumb. They
Pandas
won't, they're
are
dumb and they're frigid. They always put them together,
They
or gay,
keep on trying
basically.
to like keep them. It's like they're supposed to be extinct.
I know,
Let them go.
but they are really
Let them
cute.
go.
I love the one where they slide
They are
around in the
cute, but they're
snow.
dumb.
They're so cute.
They're really cute, but they're real stupid.
They are
They
stupid.
shouldn't be here.
Dumb. Like other bears are really like cool and like grizzly bears and shit. Like they've got their shit together. Pandas, come on.
I'm not
They're like
serious at all.
pandas are the Prince Andrew of the panda world.
It's mean. What to say?
Well, they
Sort
I'm
of
trying to think of
slipping
someone that
above
doesn't
them.
have their shit together. I don't know. Like
They're not. They're not pedo
they're not
pandas.
pedos. No,
I
actually,
mean, that's
that's true. That was
awful.
a bad analogy. They're the opposite of
That was
pedos.
a
No.
really bad one.
I'm sorry, pandas. Please don't
Like
hate
they're the
me.
Princess Beatrice.
No,
Yeah, yeah,
because
or
Princess
bears.
Beatrice is unfortunate looking and pandas are cute. So, yeah,
Along those lines.
along those
We're
lines.
getting there.
Um,
That's closer than that.
do you want kids?
No, thanks.
No, me neither.
I'm good. I'm
I'm
full.
fine.
Thank you.
I don't begrudge anybody their choice to have kids. If you want kids, go for it. Make yourself happy. I definitely do want
Yeah.
kids. I like to be able. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to compare my dog to a child because obviously my dog is better. But
You are about to
having
compare your dog to
a
a child.
dog is hard enough, right? I could not imagine having it. And I love Milo with all my heart. But even with Milo, sometimes I'm like, you're being a little shit. And it's very hard. And kids, they talk back, they make a mess, they're expensive, they're bad for the planet, they shit themselves. I just can't. No, it's not for me.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I've never been particularly broody, or it's not been something that I've been like, I really, really want. Curious to know what it would look like. Think it would be
Yeah,
excellent, but I just personally, it's not something that I feel I need in my life. If it were to have happened, yeah, probably, yeah, no. But for various different reasons, I can appreciate children, I can enjoy them, but I do enjoy the fact that then can walk away from it,
yeah. I mean,
and that's fine.
I, I don't know. Honestly, the older I feel like I need to put like a caveat here. I'm not talking about my friends' kids. I love my friends' kids because they're like an extension of
They're
my
great.
friends. But I don't like other
Yes.
kids. They're annoying. And the older I get, the more irritated I get by children.
Nice.
I don't like them. They take up space. And also the parents of children are really fucking annoying. Like the pram when they're walking
Do you
down the
know,
street.
they're worse.
Yeah,
They're
it's the
worse because
entitled
they
parents.
feel
And
very entitled to
right.
everything.
Do you know what
The
gets
kids are
me is
fine, the parents are dickheads.
double fisting walking down the street with the pram side by side. Get out of my way because I'll kick your child into oncoming traffic. Like it's so annoying, and the constant taking up of space, the crying for no reason, the wow, the questions. It's annoying. I don't like them. Sorry, call me a
It's a
Grinch.
lifestyle choice, and I can see how it is. Like, if that's what you're into, perfect. But for me, it's not something that I feel like I've missed out on, that I'm quite happy
No.
without it. And I think a
No.
lot more people are quite happy without it. Before it was like it was just a done thing to do. But
Do you get
yeah, absolutely not. There are so many other things I can feel more fulfilled and happy with.
as a
Um,
woman, do you get people now, especially now that you know you're kind of like coming to the age
you
where
know
you're
what?
like
You know what it
breeding
is?
is
I
not.
feel like it's very rude that a lot of people feel very comfortable just being like, "Oh, when are you gonna have a baby? Or when are you
Is
gonna
that
have
something
kids?"
that
And the
people
fact of the
ask
matter
you
is,
all the
that is a
time?
choice. Yeah, people do ask all the time, and that is my personal choice. But they do not know that it could be a case of there could have been a problem,
Yeah.
or like, I was unable to, or something happened, or
Or you
whatever.
just don't
And
fucking
it's just
want
like
to as
people are just
well.
very interested, and they assume that it's something that you, and they'll be like, "Oh, but when you do it, it's something," right? And it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know who are you trying to convince.
Right. And I mean, obviously, I
But
don't get that as a man. That's only something that people say
no,
to
but it
women
happens
because
to a lot of
your only
women. There are a lot
purpose
of
is to
women that get
procreate,
that.
right?
Yeah, and it's really quite rude and disrespectful. It's just like, yeah, well, it's not essential. There's more to life than just that. But for all of those people that do have kids, great for them, wonderful for them, and they love it, and that's great, beautiful. But not everyone is into it. And I think that should be equally respected,
Of
for
course.
sure.
Um, they're just too expensive. I don't have enough money for myself, let alone a child. Like,
You know what
no.
I find annoying? When people who have kids and then they're like, you can't comment about their children because they're like, you don't have them. And it's like, I can see when people are being bad, when people
Yeah.
are being good. And
Yeah.
just because I don't have them doesn't mean I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So that
Exactly.
that's annoying for sure.
Um, do you think it's ethical to have more than one kid now?
Do you know what? I have three sisters and one brother. And I love having my siblings sometimes. And it's a case of I really appreciated having siblings growing up. You obviously an only child. I see children who are only kids and they came out fine and they seemed happy enough. I personally, if I did want to have children, I think it would be nice to have two because it's just as you get older and things happen, you
Yeah, but
realize,
do you think it's
choosing
ethical?
parents.
Do you think it's
I
ethical though?
don't think. I think now we're going to have to go back to like go to start looking at how China used to do it and just say one. But with that comes problems because obviously egos and legacy continuations. So people will be like, "I want a son," like what we saw it happen in China, and you've got all these abandoned little girls
Mm.
being killed and just abandoned. So it's a really dangerous game to be like, you can only have one child, you
I mean,
know?
I don't think that there's going to be a lot. I'm just saying, do you think it's ethical? I don't think that we're gonna, especially in Europe where
It would
they're
be,
there.
in theory,
No,
it
well,
would be
in
ethical to
in
have one. If you're going to have, you should have one because, but then you've got a lot of families who are just like knocking them out, having loads of kids.
well, not
And
in
that's when
Europe.
I think it's irresponsible. Nowadays, people having more than three kids, but even that's quite a lot. Having more than that now, starting from now, I think that's unethical. I do.
Well, in Europe, like population is declining. You know, in many countries like Italy and Germany, they have a declining population.
There's too many of us
So,
anyways.
I mean, there's too many people anyway. Well, the thing is, are there too many people? It's not that there are too many people, it's that we don't share the resources
We
properly,
don't behave well.
basically, and we
Yeah,
don't
that's true.
there
Look,
aren't too
if
many
you have
people.
lots of kids and you live a very ethical life and you do not impact on the environment that much, then do
But to
it.
do that, you'd
Have
have to
at
be
it.
like the good life, living in fucking, in a
People are
country.
reverting to that anyway with solar panels, having their chickens in the garden, growing their own vegetables,
That's
and
true.
you know, making their own clothes and doing that. It's doable. People can do it. And if it's
But the
something that you
majority of
really
people
want to
don't do
do,
that, though. The majority of
well
people don't.
then you shouldn't be having loads of kids.
I agree.
That's the price you need to pay.
I agree. I
It's like
think,
kid tax. That's what they should have to pay. Kid
yeah, but
tax.
then the thing is that wouldn't be fair because rich people can afford to pay the kid tax, and why should they be able to have more kids
No,
just
no,
because they're
no. But the
rich?
kid
Like,
tax is actually that they have to make sure that everything they're producing their own food and cutting down their carbon emissions and all of that
and how are you going to enforce that, Effa?
with the kid tax police.
Oh, that's so stupid of me. The kid tax
Ask a stupid
police
question,
will
get a
solve
stupid
the
answer.
crime of the third child in Kettering. Yeah. Um, yeah, I did used to think like, oh, do I want kids? Da, 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 da. And then I'm like, no. If I did have, if you know, but you know, never say never, my dear,
Yeah,
my.
you never say
Never say never,
never say
except
never. You never know what will
I'm never
happen.
having kids. Like the only way I could ever conceivably see myself potentially having a child is like fostering. That's something I would consider doing.
Adoption would be adoption could
I
be
don't
a
know. I don't know
possibility.
about
I
adoption.
wouldn't
I would
say no
think.
to
I
that.
think being a foster parent is something that I would maybe when I'm older and more. You know, maybe when I'm older. God, I'm
Can
42.
you imagine if my dust bottle spat something out?
I think it
But
would be highly amusing. Maybe we should just
it,
obviously we're not gonna have sex, calm down. But maybe we should just have a baby. We'll
if you
just
carry it, sure.
turkey, I can
Not
just turkey
ruining
base
this
to you.
temple.
Well, they're trying now to do uterus transplants, so
Oh,
maybe
I
that could be
saw
a
that they
thing.
grew a goat in a plastic bag,
So you
but
but do
not
you
like
want
a
a goat?
Tesco carrier.
Do you want a goat?
Everyone wants a
If it
goat.
was an M&S plastic bag, I'd take it, but not a Tesco, please, I'm classy.
It's not just any.
Goat? You want a goat? You want a goat? All right, feral
Hmm.
facts. I've got loads of really strange facts about it.
Yeah. Oh, what have you got?
When I was reading these facts yesterday, I was like, babies are really weird and gross, and I don't ew. And this is when not right. The first fact. This is why I knew I
Okay.
was like, you kids are fucking faking. Newborn babies have no tear ducts. The tear ducts do not develop until about 3 weeks old. So for those first 3 weeks, when that
Just
kid is
making noise.
crying, there's no tears. And unless there are tears, I don't believe you. So just be
Just
quiet.
making noise.
I'll just stay
So
swaddled
for how long?
until 3 weeks old. That's when tear ducts develop. Before then, it's
Oh, they
just
just cut
white
them out.
noise. White noise. Wah! No.
Ugh, that
Also, this
noise.
is something I didn't know, which is quite cute. Babies have accents.
What?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
babies, they pick up the mother's accent in the third trimester while they're still inside the womb. And apparently it's reflected in the way that they cry is similar to the like mother's accent.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so weird.
that's
It's
crazy,
amazing, actually.
right?
That's actually quite interesting.
And I think as well, it gives the thing when people are like, we're pregnant, it's like, no, the woman's pregnant. The baby doesn't
No,
have the dad's
she's
accent.
pregnant
She's pregnant. Sit down.
because of you.
Right? You did this, Steve.
There you go.
This is one now that I was like, not because of this content, the subject matter, but just because it's just weird and disturbing. Baby girls
What
can
is
have
it?
newborn baby girls can have periods.
Huh?
Right? Baby girls share their mother's hormones in the womb, and some of these hormones are still in their system after birth. So sometimes baby girls can shed their uterine lining, which results in a mini period.
Just can't catch a break. God's sake.
Right? But not
Can
like
you imagine? Literally, you come out and you're like, I've just been through the trauma of squeezing through my mum's fanny canal, and then you have to
and
go
then you have a
through a bloody
period.
period. Absolutely not. It's rude. It's just bloody
So
rude.
fucking rude. I couldn't believe that.
How dare they?
I couldn't believe that. Also,
Seriously.
another thing I read the other day was that every newborn child has blue eyes.
Yeah, they
Did you know
do.
that? Until about 6 months old, then your eye. There's something to do with the way the light is. Anyway, I didn't know that. All newborn babies have blue
But yeah, I
eyes.
wear contacts.
Yeah, remember our coloured contact face. Efra and I used to get these coloured contacts from this optician called Sam Silver, and
They
you
were
were supposed
great.
they were disposable, air quotes
Yeah.
disposable. You were supposed to wear them for like what, a day or something with it? No, a kind of week or
And
something.
John wore his
I
constantly,
wore
but
them
not
until
just
my
any
eyes bled.
contacts. Not just any contacts. He got like scary killer blue,
No, that's
crystal
not
blue.
true. That's not true.
Yes, you
I
did.
tried the
And they,
hazel ones, which made me look like a serial
oh my
killer.
God, those
They
were
were awful.
terrifying.
But the
I
sapphire
had green
ones
ones.
and the
Those were
green
nice.
ones, they were good. And the purple ones as well, they were cute.
The purple ones were great as well. They looked really
I
cute.
once took them out and I remember staying in someone's house, being drunk, taking them out, putting them in an egg cup full of water, and then just popping them back in the morning.
Oh my God, so bad. So
It's a miracle I've still got my sight. Okay, also, okay, so the last feral fact is, which is just so
Okay, tell me.
random. Babies born in May are the heaviest. On average, they are 200 grams heavier than babies born in other months.
What?
Yeah.
So
And
all
you
the
would think
chubsters are in
they're
May.
in May, right? How random.
Big tin
You would
babies.
think maybe it would be like babies born in like January or something because everyone's been eating over Christmas, right? You'd
Yeah,
think they
they're
get
all pumped up.
a little like a Christmas turkey, but no, it's babies born in May.
My sister was like 9 pounds. She was
I mean,
massive.
obviously
And she
not
was born in
every,
December.
but you know,
Did you see that thing about that baby that was literally about 14 pounds or something, born in Brazil? It was huge. It was massive.
no, I don't need to see that. Do you know
I
the
feel sorry
funniest
for
thing
that
that I
mother.
saw about it? It's about, well, it's about parenting. There was this tweet by this dad, and he said, "My 4-year-old is currently screaming her head off in fear because she had the hiccups, and he told her that it was an alien trying to burst out of her chest." And he was
So
like,
you can have fun
I
as a
don't know if
parent.
I'm cut out to be a parent, but I was like, that's exactly the kind of parent that I would be." Can you imagine? You know?
Brilliant,
Um,
brilliant.
so yeah, I think to end, we should say, in the words of Chelsea Handler, kids, they're not that great.
Stay viral.
Stay feral. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.